Two, one. So today I'm talking to my friend Tara, and we are going to learn about all things Phoenix, that Phoenix metro area, and hopefully we can get some really good information on what's going on in the real estate market. Hey Tara, how are you today?
I'm good. Thanks for having me here, Jennifer. How are you?
Good, awesome. Well, first of all, I saw on the news the other day that it was like in the 100-degree uh, a temperature point in it's what, June 2025? Like, no, I'm sorry.
Yes, we've hit over 100. We haven't hit 120 yet, so that's really when it gets hot. But 107, 109, that's where we're sitting right now.
Okay, well, no, thank you. But there's so many other people in the world that love the heat and love Phoenix. So before we get into the real estate market, tell us about yourself and how long have you been in the real estate industry and just anything else you want us to know.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've been in for 4 years now. I started in Wichita, Kansas, where I'm still actively licensed, but my feet are here in Phoenix. I love working with buyers. I love working with sellers, investors. The reason I got into real estate is I wanted to better people's lives. And why not do it by finding their biggest asset where they're going to grow their family, they're going to have pets, they're going to have the backyard barbecue, getting to be a part of that. Yet the number one thing for me is building a relationship one home at a time. So it's not just a transaction, but it's the life of them, really. It's when they need a painter or when they need boxes or junk removal. It's more than just buying and selling. And that's what I love how we get to do this. And then I'm also in Phoenix metro area. My office is in East Valley. So there's a couple areas there. I have two dogs. They're my babies. Married to my lovely husband, Matt. Love traveling. We just got back from a trip with a once in a lifetime experience, which was amazing. Yet love being around people, building communication. You put me in a room with people and I'll walk away with at least one friend.
I love that. Yes, you were just in Hawaii, is that right?
Yes. Oh, it was amazing.
Oh, how awesome. I'll have to look at your photos, but that is amazing. So, serving both Wichita and you're in the Phoenix metro area. You said East Valley, is that right?
Yes.
Okay, but you can serve the whole Phoenix metro. And that's kind of what we're going to talk about today. What's going on in that area? So, tell us kind of what people are seeing in the real estate market in your area right now.
Well, Jennifer, I'll start off that it is a great market no matter what,
Mm.
whether you're looking to buy or sell. It just depends on where you're positioned. So, what I mean by that, when you look at the Phoenix area, and I talk with my hands, you have West Valley, you have East Valley, you have North, and then you have South. So, East Valley is there's Intel over here. We've got a couple cities where people come to. West Side, you've got more land, you've got more developments happening. So it kind of depends on what people are looking for. The average price point in Phoenix right now is around 670 for the single family home. What that means though is that's hyper locally. You can go into certain areas. There is a town that's just a little bit southwest of East Valley called Maricopa. So we're in Maricopa County. And Maricopa, you can get houses with acreage in the threes and 400s up to the 500s. So depending on what people are looking for, it's really a good market. Buyers, there's a lot of negotiations happening if the seller is not positioned correctly. Sellers, we're still seeing houses hit the market and go under contract pretty quickly as long as they're positioned correctly. And that's where it comes really important, almost required to have a local expert so that you understand where those hyper local numbers come from. So I mentioned Phoenix has a median sales price of 670,000. That's a 3-2. Probably a little bit, could be a pool if it wanted. So a lot of houses here have pools. Whereas in Wichita and in the Midwest where you're at, the average price point in Wichita, I believe is in the 200s, 230-ish. So it's interesting to see. Yet we look at why people come to Phoenix. It's a great snowbird area, great golf, amazing golf. What people don't realize is that it does get cooler here in the wintertime where I have a jacket on. It's kind of surprising. We do have freeze warnings very rarely, but it does happen. Yet there's so many beautiful places, even in the summertime, that you can go and cool off and relax.
I love that. So, yeah, you mentioned one population, snowbirds or people who are retiring. There's lots of reasons to move to Phoenix, but yeah, I think that's a big reason that a lot of people do come from out of state to retire or to downsize. Where are you seeing these people come from? Is there a certain area that people are coming from or just all over?
So we have quite a bit coming from California, just
Mm.
because the dollar does go a little bit further here in Arizona. We have Midwest coming out for retirement. There's quite a few areas, there's East Valley going to North Phoenix, and so we have a lot of turnover in the Phoenix metro area. Yet when we look, Tampa Bay in Florida is a big one.
Mm.
So people
Wow.
potentially leaving the humidity to come over. You have
Mm.
California. You've got Midwest as well. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I didn't know the light was going to go
Ooh,
off.
that was actually fun. We could do a club vibe. I actually like it.
No, that was not scripted at all. That's fine. I'm sitting too
I
still.
love it.
But with that being said, it just depends. There's several little pockets what people are looking for. We have very nice retirement communities. I know you mentioned that,
Mm.
where there's activities for everyone. There's swing dance, there's rock climbing, literally anything. So if someone wants to come, the other thing of why people come to Phoenix is the taxes. So being from the Midwest, it wasn't uncommon to have a couple thousand for taxes. Here, the taxes are the least expensive in the United States, as well as insurance is low because you've got sun. You don't really have the hail and all the weather that comes in with the Midwest and East Coast. So that is really interesting to me. I tell people, yes, you could go somewhere else to invest. You might get a lower price point, but you're paying 3,000 in taxes a year versus 1,500 here.
Wow, that is impressive. And honestly, that is really shocking. With the, because Indianapolis, for example, you mentioned Wichita was around 230. Indianapolis, our median price is around 260. And we always feel like we have low taxes, 1%, you know, which is good. But gosh, hearing that, so you may have a higher price point in Arizona, but when you look at the overall cost, it may make sense, right?
For sure, for sure. And there's so many programs, people are concerned with the cost of living with the higher priced houses. Yeah, there's so many programs where we can get you lower interest rates. We can have seller concessions right now. Like I said, it's a great time to buy. I think when people come to Phoenix, A, they love it, or B, they don't like it. But the ones that love it are usually trying to get out here in the next couple years.
Yeah, I mean, who wouldn't love to be in a warm climate? Not a lot of no humidity probably at all. Yeah, I can see people going from Florida to Arizona. You know, honestly, I feel like people are moving. There are people moving out of Florida to different parts of the country because of the severe weather and things like that. So Arizona is a natural choice. Stay in a warm climate, but not have those storms. So when we talk about that kind of, higher price point, and it's not high compared to California, because of course you said they're moving to you because of it's a lower price point that for them. But what about first-time home buyers? I think that, a lot of times first-time home buyers, they have to keep their costs low. Where are they going in Phoenix, or what are they doing? What do you see?
For sure. First time home buyers are absolutely a joy to work with. One that fills my cup a ton. And I love working with them. When it comes to first time home buyers, it's really our job to change the perspective for them that
Mhm.
there's so many myths, 20% down, interest rate's going to be this, I have to have this credit score. And if you're willing to sit down and find that motivated first time home buyer that's ready to stop renting, we can find properties all over the place. So we have this thing called the Cromford Report, where we have an economist go through every week of what's happening in the Phoenix metro area. And just for example, I have it right here. Today on June 10th, 2025, our listing success rate, so the houses that have actually sold that were listed, is 66%. That kind of blows my mind because it's close to half. And so what I tell people as first-time home buyers, half the houses that are on the market aren't selling right now. That
Mhm.
opens up quite a few opportunities. A good analogy I like to use with first-time home buyers is you have a kid in looking for a toy in Toys R Us. And they
Mhm.
take hours to go look at every aisle. They're looking for everything, and they come to you and they have five, right? Versus they go to a smaller store such as Dollar General. There's
Mhm.
10 items on the rack and they find one. So that's kind of the difference with the markets and how we can look at it. Hyper locally, there's our areas where it is Dollar General. You've got two houses in your price point. We got to look at that.
Mhm.
But if they're open to being a little bit further from town, 25 to 30 minutes, we can find really good deals where they're getting the 2-1 buy down, like we talked about, getting concessions. Over 51% of the transactions that happen in Phoenix metro area in 2024 would not have happened without buyer consent or seller concessions, excuse me. And what that tells us is we've just got to find those people. They're just told by the media that they can't buy, yet there's so many opportunities. I just had two first-time home buyers last week that closed. Um, and one ended up having a 20,000 over appraisal, which was incredible. New roof,
Wow.
all of that. It came down to negotiating, but we found a house that had been on for 400 plus days. No showings. The seller was motivated, and we found that pain point. So for the buyer, they almost got a brand new house, a new AC, new roof, and in the price point, they're in a 1 bedroom, 1 bath apartment here. And
Oh,
their mortgage payment is $350 more than what they're paying for this 1 bedroom, 1 bath apartment. And they got a 4 bedroom, 2 bath, 3 car garage on an acre and a half. So there's a lot of
wow.
opportunity that opens up. The same thing in Wichita, which, like I said, I cover a little bit of Wichita. The big thing with Wichita is the investments. So if you ever
Mm.
have anyone looking for kind of to dip their toe into investments, you can get a smaller investment that might not have a
Mhm.
huge cash flow, yet you can start by having someone pay your mortgage. You have Section 8 housing where the government pays you for the rentals.
Mhm.
So overall, in both areas, it's a great market for buying and selling.
Yeah, I mean, gosh, when you talk about the Phoenix Metro, it sounds like there's a lot of opportunities for first-time home buyers. And you're right, it's really great working with first-time home buyers, helping them, walking them through all the different steps of the process. It's really nice. And since you talked about investments in Wichita and that low price point attracts investors, what about Phoenix? I mean, because Phoenix has a lot of tourism and visitors. I mean, just off the top of my head, there's a lot of spring training, baseball, and people come to see that and all sorts of attractions and things. So is there a lot of investing going on in your area?
Absolutely. So you named a few of them right off the bat. There's just a few events that are major here every year. We have the Waste Management Tour tournament. So
Oh.
we have a ton of people that come in for that and stay for a whole week. We also have spring training. That's several weeks and months where people come in and they do short-term rentals. That's what they're looking for. They're not looking to stay in a hotel. They're looking for somewhere where they can go back, they can cook, they can hang out, and it's not in that hotel setting. The other thing is we have the Arabian Horse Show that brings in quite a few people. I believe that's in January. Have to check that, as well as all the golf courses that people can come in, snowbirds. And by snowbirds, I mean people who live in a different area for the winter versus the summer. So a lot of opportunity comes with investing. The thing with Phoenix that is amazing is you have higher rental opportunities. So that cash flow opportunity, the investments are a little bit more expensive compared to the Midwest, such as Wichita and Indiana. Yet snowbirds are willing to pay a higher price to have a short-term rental because they're only there for 3 or 4 months versus a whole year. So it depends what you're looking for. There's really good opportunity for long-term leases for, like I said, Intel is in our area. Intel has a lot of foreign nationals that come in. And so a lot of them are renting currently. And then when you go to the short-term rentals, you have opportunities all over for condos. People are always looking for condos. They're looking for the big houses where they can have multiple families come together, as well as you have Arizona State here. So you have an opportunity for college kids as well, students, not kids.
Sure. Hey, they're kids to me. Look, I'm
Right.
feeling old. Um, Gosh, so there's, whether you're investing, whether you want to come down and downsize, retire, snowbird, whatever, whether, you are a first-time home buyer, lots and lots of different opportunities in your area. So one last thing then, if someone watching this video was considering moving to your area, the Phoenix metro area, or even Wichita, let's focus on Phoenix. What kind of advice would you give them? How would they begin their search?
So the best thing would obviously be reaching out to a local expert. Hopefully that's me.
Yes.
But understanding, sitting down and really understanding the process. Even if you bought, we talk about first time home buyers, but if you haven't bought a house in the last 2 years, not that you're a
Mhm.
first time home buyer, you're in the category where everything has changed recently in the last 5 years. The process, there's so much more automated options with the lenders and who you're talking to. Are you talking to someone who answers the phone? Are you talking to someone who's just emails? What opportunities do you have there? But finding an agent that is a local expert that understands the fiduciary duty that we have to you, I would recommend connecting with myself or someone,
Mhm.
getting a date together where you can come explore and really figure out what's important to you. Is it the convenience of being super close to everything? You've got bars, you got restaurants, you've got Costco, you've got the super centers, you've got the airport. Or would you rather be out and get to see the nature, the mountains? Is that more important to you? Do you want a golf course? What's important to you in that aspect? Researching it, knowing that it's one of the biggest assets that you're going to have, if not the biggest. It's okay to take your time. And that's what we're here for. It might not be your time right now, yet when you talk to a local expert, we're going to be able to work through that and figure out what's important to you and get a timeline together. And maybe it's not the first house that you buy that's the grandiose one. That's okay. It starts the process and it steps to get that generational wealth. And that's what we like to do. That's what I love to do, is your house is not just your house. It opens up a world of possibilities for you.
Exactly. And that's so smart. And that's what people need to realize. Real estate is for everyone. Investing can be for everyone. It's just you need to talk to the right person and have them guide you. And of course, Tara's the local expert and she is more than happy to help you. So if you do want to reach out, I will connect you and her information will be below in this video. But Tara, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And we learned so much about the area and all the opportunities. I really appreciate it.
Yes, thank you so much, Jennifer.
Have a great day.
You too.